Here at the high school, the librarians found some old books revealing what was happening at Hempfield 130 years ago.
We are renovating our magazine room, and when we cleaned out that room, we found some old books sitting on a top shelf that we didn't realize we had. The oldest one that we have is an 1875 atlas, and then we have several books that are 1891, and then a couple of the books are the early 1900s. One of the books is 1914. I showed them to Mr. Trigo and Mr. Newman. Mr. Newman teaches a class on Lancaster and Pennsylvania history. And we decided that it was a good choice to be able to get these bound.
Some of the books are actually a really valuable resource for my students to be able to take a look at some of the older atlases and some of the older historical content that is included in those books and be able to incorporate it into the curriculum. And I find a high degree of value in using some of those primary resources.
Group talking about the trends of the decades.
We have a historical atlas, we have Lancaster lyrics. It's actually lyrics and mostly poetry that could be put to lyrics. One of the books that we have has biographies on famous Lancaster County people at that time. When you look at the historical atlas, every township and every borough has its own separate map. But there are little squares and actually names of the residents and the people who owned that land.
This semester we're actually going to just be using them as an opportunity for our students to explore a little bit. The atlas, for instance, would actually be to encourage kids to find where they live and see what used to be there. Perhaps even some of the differences within the layout of Hempfield and the surrounding area.
See how this outside piece was original, but see how that's actually new.
I think there's a difference in actually seeing something and touching something and the artfulness that actually went into the creation of these books. It's just amazing to see the rich cultural history that has been restored in Lancaster, the detail that went into actually creating that atlas. It's kind of humbling when you really think about it.
The one interesting book that we found, the inside cover is a dedication that was actually done in what's called German Fraktur to a Mr. P. Baker at the Landisville Graded School in 1891. And the bindery actually found a letter inside the book. And the letter is from a parent who wrote to the teacher, Mr. P. Baker, and they had given him this book as a Christmas gift. I didn't know that was in there until we sent it to the bindery, which is really pretty awesome to find something like that inside of a book.
The historical books found in the Hempfield Library share stories beyond the ones written on their pages. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Laurel Murr.